Hey everybody, I'm streaming an art video right now. I'm gonna do a little bit of introduction though and stuff before I do it, and why I'm streaming just the last parts and not before. Well, for one, I'm doing this to kind of motivate myself to finish it faster. I've been really slacky when it comes to finishing this, and I work on it and then quit. Obviously there's a couple parts I still want to fix. Like, I'm still probably going to work on the hair a little bit, like try to figure out how I can contrast the top without throwing off the whole image. Certain things are very sensitive, and the wrong type of texture of lighting, too much lighting, just throws off the whole image. So yeah, the hair has been kind of tricky because of that. I mean, it's actually because of the color, mostly. Here's like me doing some practice with some other colors. Wait. There we go, yeah. So like if you see here, if it's brown, it looks great. But if as soon as I try doing black and white hair, it's just does not turn out the same. So yeah, sadly, that's kind of the reason why she doesn't look amazing when it comes to the hair. It's just the color choice I did. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to distribute this link quick to a couple places so I can get some viewers, hopefully. Because when it comes to art stuff, I take it a lot more seriously than my video game streaming. So we're gonna jump into a new tab here and share the link. And then I'm gonna get off camera when I'm actually drawing this, because it's gonna be like an hour or 2 hour stream, so I'm taking it pretty seriously. All right, so we got this link over here. I'm gonna go into Reddit quick and go on the Krita forum, post it. I'll go on my Facebook and my Instagram. Krita, here we go. Live streaming my art now in Krita. Okay. Post, flare, made in Krita. Apply, post. Alright, and then I'm going to go to my Facebook. Just give me a second. This will take like 5 minutes. I don't know how the real YouTubers do it, because I'm not really like accustomed to doing this. Live streaming my art at the moment. Watch if you'd like. Okay. Post. And I don't know how to share links on Instagram, so we're just gonna have to story this, I guess. I need my OBS up so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. Here we go. Alright, check out Kaolamation on YouTube to drop by. Done. Okay, let's see if this works. We'll see. Alrighty, okay. Let's get down to it. So mostly what I'm going to be working on right now is just going to be adding a little bit more context and detail to the hands. And the hands are kind of like their own layer, as you guys can see. Ooh, took off her. See, these layers, you know, let's just make this into a group right now. Let's just turn it a lot easier. Group layer. Oh god, I got the text over here. That's kind of annoying. Hands. So you guys can't actually see this. Whatever. Okay, hands. This is just the basic architecture of it, you know. So we're gonna take the rest of the skin, and we're gonna go on this layer, and we're gonna go in a lot more, so I can erase around where the hands are. See, these hands are just tubes. They're not particularly detailed right now. And I'm drawing this without any major references, so this is all completely YOLO, you know. I'm gonna have to redo a lot because there's some lag in Krita when you're streaming, so I'm not gonna be able to do this lag free. So I'm still gonna go ahead and probably erase up into the wrists, and then I'm gonna color in where the hands are currently so they can all be on their own little layer. So, because I want the hands to be over the dress no matter what, and I also want to make the arms kind of like their own thing from here down, you know? So the dress can go over top, only in very specific parts. Alrighty, so let's erase to right here. Okay. And then we'll make the erasure bigger. This is actually a trick in animation, by the way, to erase like separation of like parts that you're going to be animating more, so this way they don't interfere with the layers, other layers. All right, so now we have that color that we want, and that almost here. Let's drop this color, and of course that didn't go on the right layer. So now this. I'm using the brush that has no opacity simply because right now the only thing I'm really worried about is just getting the general placement and shape of these hands, because I do everything the slowest, most annoying way possible because I am way too much of a perfectionist. Oh yeah, that's all part of the same. Yeah, these hands don't look very good right now, but they're not supposed to look good yet, you know. There's still quite a few steps I gotta do. Alright, so speaking of this, let's start doing the real lines now. Okay, so we're gonna go over these, and I'm gonna pick I'm actually gonna use the same colors here. So we're gonna, for this first line, we're gonna pick lighter color. If I can pick it, there we go, yeah. Okay. Then we're gonna go to the normal one of opacity here. We're gonna go to 1 pixel because I wanna make sure this is very, very fine. So we already have this, right, this knuckle here. So I wanna go to the layers where it's gonna be easy to distribute what is behind, right? So as you guys can notice on a hand, there's a little bit of a ball here. Sorry, here. And so I'm gonna try to get that slight balling right here, and then as the finger will start to sprawl out. Now, everyone's fingers are a little different. Some people are more rigid on top and more smooth on bottom, and some, like mine, are more rigid on the bottom and more smooth on top. It just depends on the person. Me, I'm smooth on top, rigid on bottom, but it's more common to draw the fingers with like this. Okay, so I'm gonna add up another layer and just delete what I don't need. So it's more common though for people to draw fingers that are rigid on the top and then smooth on the bottom. Okay, now you can't really tell it's rigid because these are pretty small, but you get the basic point. So then what we're gonna do is since we're adding in some size, we need to fan out, right? And then every little bit is going to curl back in, and then we're gonna add where the webbing would be, and then on this one, and then we're gonna slightly. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do that later when we gotta add in better detail. Okay, and then this angle, you know, and then because there is a slight curve, we're going to have this angled more than this side because it's cupping inside, right? It's angled like this. Just neat little art tricks, you know. And then this ring finger, in my opinion, is a little too long, so we're gonna shorten it slightly. I mean, I know some people have ring fingers that are longer than their top finger, but I want to keep mine about the same because I want her to be pretty feminine. So we're going to draw the invisible angle, so right here, right? And then erase it if we don't need it, just to keep reference. And now, do the same, right? So that means this finger actually goes to about right here. And now it's atomically correct. Alright. This will look a lot better once I erase the blue line, but you know, I'm doing this all freestyle, so it's hard to really see what I'm doing. And then this finger, we're gonna, you know, obviously thin it out slightly. And then this is ending right here, but it's hidden, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so actually, she's wearing the dress, so the hands are gonna go over, so the legs. So actually, we can't hide it. That's annoying. Alright, so this ratio needs to be, okay, and then, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Okay, and now, so I'm gonna move the hands layer, just for the sake of doing this smoothly, above the body layer for right now. I'm probably gonna move it back somewhere else, but just so we have an idea of what we're doing. And now, right, we know kind of where everything is. Now we're gonna take the fingers and we're gonna start to erase them so we have a better reference of how everything will look. Now, the trick with hands is hands only, if you're trying to do more realistic, hands only have the major lines if you're closed-handed, and everything else kind of just shades out like the rest of the body. So I'm gonna have to lighten and thin out these lines, and I'll have to make them uneven. So thinner on the knuckle ends and thicker on the tube part, right? So it gives a little bit of a more like dimension that it's boned, because when we're at the proper scaling, right, the hands get quite small because of the way that this is forced perspective. So I need to make sure it's not overly. Okay. Now, if you were to take a picture of a real person and compare this, actually the hands are about the correct size. They look very, very small, but that's because, remember, we're going force perspective and these hands are quite far away. And I got tiny ass hands, so my only reference is small-handed people. Alrighty, now we're gonna draw this part of the hand. So you need to be careful here because when you do this, the line right here actually appears over no matter where it's placed, right? There is like damn, it's so hard to fucking see. It always kind of appears, right? So when I draw this part, I need to make sure that this part goes over everything, but at the same time, it's slightly over bordered, right? And then we gotta lip it, because that's what the thumb does. And then the thumb, straight with a little bit of a ball, a little bit of a bump, and then narrow again. So we're going straight, but inside, a little bit of a bump, and then narrow. And then if we look at the way that it's curved, it's lipped, and then straight. Okay, and then it does get a little thicker, and then there's this knuckle, right? And then it goes back like this, and then it meets into the wrist. So there we go, right? God, this is so hard to... It's so hard, I can't do it, I can't show the camera. But whatever, you get what I'm saying. Alright, let me go ahead and delete this part. And remember, I will go through different revisions, obviously, if I need to, and make it even better. Okay, and then there we go. And then these were actually kind of just for reference for where to add the shadows in for the hand folding. So we're not gonna erase them, but we're gonna really thin them out because this is just gonna be for the reference of shadow right now. Okay, and then obviously the way that knuckles are not lines, they're visible, but they're more of a change in depth and color. Like there's a bright spot, dark, dark. So we're gonna have to fake where the tendon meets right here, tendon, and then darken the spots next to it. But we can't do it too dramatically or it's gonna make it look like shit. So, go figure. Okay, let's get this color back. That already starts to look pretty good. Adding that tiny bit of web. The web is actually pretty deep if you see, right? The knuckle and the web location are very contrasted actually. So, gotta keep true to that, especially because the hand is like this, you know? You can see quite a bit into it. And then that's another trick we're gonna have to do with the shadowing. We're gonna have to make the shadowing look like it's coming from like this kind of direction. So we're gonna have to darken, light, slight darken, light, and then change the shape of the shadow to look like it's moving through knuckle to tube. Alright, or joint to tube, I mean. Alright, now, alright, now the second hand is gonna be pretty much very similar, but it's slightly more left, front facing. So if you look at the hand, right, the slight knuckling part is, oh Jesus Christ, this is so difficult. is always this part, which will be on the outside. So this part is relatively smooth. Okay, and then relatively, not perfectly smooth, but relatively. Alright, and then we Now, I'm thinking I'm gonna have the thumb resting a little more back, so I'm probably gonna scoot everything a little bit and have this thumb underneath. So, or just overlaying, so we'll see how this goes. So, right, a little bit of a part, it's not direct, and then the finger is going to this. Maybe a little bit wider here. Okay. Now we gotta erase this shit. To the overall shadow lines, we're just gonna lighten them, I'm not gonna completely get rid of. Okay, and then here, let's draw the other thumb quick. So this is definitely gonna be a lot more hidden. And so we're going to draw where the knuckle ends and then that curve. Oh shit. Damn, what the fuck did I do? I'll be honest, I don't like Krita that much, but it's free. No, that needs to be thicker. Nope. Better. Still not perfect, but better. And then... oh shit. Now, I definitely need to improve this finger, obviously. So we're going to recast this. I'm gonna get rid of these because I think the guideline is actually kind of what fucked me up. So don't want to be here, and we're actually going to scale this down so we can add a little bit more refined detail right away. So start, okay, and then we got to do another break, start, another break, and then round it. A little better. I mean, remember, this is very small pixels, so it's gonna look a little weird. Yeah, better. Not perfect, but better. I think what I gotta do is I gotta make this part a bit more rigid looking. Yeah, I think that makes it a lot better. actually is more natural now. Now, with that side one, actually let me clean up the lines again. The filling, I mean. I think this part, these two look very good, but gotta add. Okay. Now, if we look at this from a distance, the lines are gonna be a little too thick. But as you can tell, this hand could be a little bigger. So right off the bat, I think this hand needs to be slightly bigger. So I need to move this down a little bit. Well, actually, we can just have it where this hand is behind this one slightly. And then that's gonna make it just a tiny bit smaller, because actually, if we were to do this, this is a good trick, by the way. So if something seems wrong with your eye, you can double check it and see if you're just being overly critical or not. So here's the width, right? Because it's a little angled. And then we take this tool, select it, move it, and then we bring it over here, right? And we match it. And see, it's slightly smaller, but not by much. So another thing we could do is we could make it bigger on this end, right? And then we could just move over these two fingers slightly, give an extension on the knuckle, or make this finger slightly thicker, right? And then it's fine, it's fixed. And then they're the exact same size. So probably is what I'm gonna do. So, and of course it's fucking Krita, so it doesn't want to do everything correctly. Fuck you. Alright. And yeah, it's not gonna work. God damn it. Yeah, Krita is kind of garbage. I'm not trying to be rude to the developers. I know it's a free app, but Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Alright, so, let's get super fucking close just so we can see this line that got all fucked up. Here, Jesus fucking Christ. Alright. Now, what I'm gonna do to easily fix this is I'm gonna bulb. It's a little bit more front facing, so I don't want to quite do that, but we're gonna, here, let's experiment. We're gonna go to this. We're gonna start from here, and we're gonna do this, ball it slightly. This is very, very, very slight. And then erase what we have. And then I'm gonna kind of cheat here. And I'm gonna take this tool. You know, this isn't real art, this is super digital, but whatever. You can do it, why not? And we're going to take this slight part and we're gonna move it ever so slightly, like that. And then this way it's not moved too much. Then we're gonna cap this part off. That slight change in size, which is only just a couple pixels, so it shouldn't fuck it up too much. And then we're gonna connect it. Better. A little better. Okay, let's work this part. Take it away. And look, just a couple pixels. And I don't know if you can see, but I've noticed a very big difference now. There's definitely a big difference in the way that the hands articulate. And now this hand, as you can tell, some of the fingers are a little off, like this one doesn't curve enough. So we're gonna redo this finger too. How many minutes have I been on this? It shows me on the bottom, but I don't see it. 32 minutes it says on camera. Alright. Alright, so this finger, we're gonna guideline it a little bit more to give it that sense that it's connecting from the bottom and moving, getting thinner. So we're going to first go to this part and we're going to thin this out. And then we're going to remove this. Actually, we're going to go to a smaller size. I'm going to go into this. And now, I'm going to connect to here. Let's smooth out that transitioning. Now from here, super noticeable first, but this is starting to angle, so we want to cut this part, right? So now that's being too far, and then yeah, okay, that looks better already. And then knuckle here, knuckle there. Okay. It's a little tricky, man, especially when you're working with very low pixel width. I think that can fix it. Okay. whole thing off too. Just gonna take move it up. Just a couple pixels, like this. Yeah, much better. Now, we're going to take the darker color and reiterate that this finger's knuckle starts actually here. And then we're gonna draw the hand curve here. And then start it like this. A little better, still needs a little bit more improvement. Like I said, hands are pretty tricky, and you know, you can't be too discouraged if it takes you a little bit, especially if you're newer, you know. Obviously, one way that I want to fix this is by playing more with the depth change, so maybe moving the finger a little closer to this one, and then having this ball more extreme on that last curve, you know. But for right now, it doesn't look that terrible from far away, especially after we fix this finger. And then we have to just, these ones are actually kind of okay. Obviously we gotta thin that line out and reiterate that this is a knuckle here, and we'll be fine. Okay, so now we need to re-angle this a little bit more like so. Oops, wrong color. So yeah, that's already much better, and then change the angle of that middle finger a little bit, and then start with some detailing to work out the, you know, knuckle to tube, tube to knuckle. I think that's actually pretty good. Just gotta add a lot of shadow right here to emphasize that it's behind. Alrighty, remove, oh no, that's part of the body. And then now we're going to put the hands over the gown layer. Right. Oh shit, no, I do not need to do that. So body, hands, gown, body. Oops, no. What's over my hands? Where is my hands later? Holy shit. Did I accidentally put hands? No, I did. Alright. The purpose of doing this is because I have this base color, and now we can really fill this out without having to worry about too much overlapping, right? So go like this, we start filling it in, right? And now the hands have a much better base color for when we're doing more detailing. So it's a really good thing to do temporarily. I don't want to go over the arm too much, just don't want to keep it around the ring. And then now we got to go a little bit smaller though. Let's say 15. Get the spacing closer. And now let's go for 5. So now we have a really good idea on what the hell our hands are doing. Now we go back to the hands, clean some more of this crap up. Gotta go more smaller than that though. Okay, and then we're gonna angle this more flat, right? And then cut this thumb more. And then this, now that we can more clearly see the finger, we need to ball this out even a little bit more maybe towards this end, and then, right, wing the pinky down. The pinky is flexing, right, like this, jointing. That's clip right there. Then the middle finger is just a line, and obviously we gotta do what a real finger does. We gotta, you know, slightly narrow from web to tip, and then knuckle this with only a couple pixels. So it's got to be mostly shade tricking the lines to make our eyes think it's doing something it's not. But whatever. Optical illusions for the win, damn it. There we go. Yeah. This will be a part for shading, definitely. Shade, shade, shading, shading, shading. Again, we gotta fix this a little bit more. But yeah, the basic geometry and shape. What happened? Yeah, those are pretty decent, for sure. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna go clean this up a little bit more off stream. I think it's been, how long has it been? It's been close to an hour, so I'm probably gonna, for the sake of time constraints, keep it shorter. Basically, yeah, I'm just gonna clean up these 3 fingers, make it look as good as this hand, and then clean the lines on this hand, and then do all the shading, detailing, highlighting, and then relayer everything, darken a couple lines, and then the hands are finished. And then we got to do all of the dress folds and the shadowing and the way that the fabric is going to stretch and bend around where the hands are resting. And that one I'll probably just use like pictures of where I'm grabbing cloth or something just to exaggerate, you know, what I'll be trying to do. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys next time.